evening, welcome to MLC TV News. I am Fatima Yakub. The headlines: President Buhari approves creation of 159 new TV and radio stations. We have scores of German SPD won the just concluded election. And the world celebrates World Rabies Day. The news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has granted approval of 159 companies, communities and institutions of higher learning to operate radio and television stations. Director General, National Broadcasting Corporation (NBC), Malam Balarabe made a disclosure in a statement issued in Abuja on Tuesday. The commission was established by the NBC Act Cap N11 Law of the Federation 2004 with a mandate to regulate and control broadcasting in Nigeria. Today, there are a total of 625 functional broadcast stations in Nigeria, Ilela stated. The DG said that the newly approved licenses were the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro Radio, Prospective Union of Reno People Radio, Smile Community Radio Initiative, and International Institute of Tropical Agriculture Radio. He said others are Dudu African Broadcasting Communications Limited, Independent Television, Prince Media Network, Jamcat Integrity Investment Limited, Hikima Media Services, and Galaxy Television Radio. Others are HI Fidelity Communications, B360 Nigeria Limited, Communication Faculties Limited, Geoffrey Okoye University Radio, Art Broadcasting Company, and Dana Media. The federal government has been commended for granting Kogi State the privilege to operate a domestic export warehouse, dry port at Felele, Lokoja, Kogi State capital. Governor Bello gave the commendation varying an on-the-spot assessment tour to ascertain the level of work done on the construction site of the domestic exports warehouse at Felele. The governor, who was represented by the State Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, Gabriel Unisa Onufu, said the administration will continue to create an enabling environment to woo investors and to make their businesses succeed in the state. He lauded the federal government under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari for making Kogi State one of the 5 states approved for the establishment of the multi-million naira gigantic project, which he described as a mini port, emphasizing that goods will be examined to meet up with the international standard before it is exported out of the country. Governor Bello equally commended the Harris Logistics Services Limited and the Nigeria Port Authority for their cooperation to make the facility a hub of commercial activities and promised to support in the aspect of finance and logistics. Similarly, the managing director of the company and the one-time aspirant for the Western Senatorial seat, Alhaji Tajuddin Bismillah, applauded President Muhammadu Buhari, Minister of Trade and Investment, Mr. Ni Adebayo, and the MD of the Exports Promotion Council, Mr. Segun Awolowo, for introducing the laudable scheme, which is geared towards economic diversification, revenue generation, and as well as employment creation. Carried out the selection process and found Harris Logistics Services Limited suitable among the 5 companies considered out of over 300 companies which applied for the privilege. No doubt, the project would add value to Kogi State and the neighboring states in diverse ways. Kogi State government has set up a threeman committee to ensure proper execution of the remodeling and renovation of Specialist Hospital, Lokoja. This is coming after the state governor, Alhaji Alabi, expressed dissatisfaction over the level of work done at the hospital during an inspection visit on Monday. The Kogi State Commissioner for Works and Housing, Engineer Abubakar Ohere, while speaking with newsmen in Lokoja on Tuesday, said the 3-man committee included the State Auditor General, Alhaji Yakubu Okala, as chairman, while the Director General Bureau of Public Procurement, Mr. Sunday Ehimoni, and the Commissioner of Works as a member. According to him, the governor has directed that the committee should redetermine the entire contract and find a way forward for better delivery. The commissioner said that the governor has again demonstrated his commitment to the people, with the observation that the job done at the hospital was below standard. Engineer Ohere promised to strengthen the existing capacity to deliver to the governor's satisfaction, assuring that the ministry will fill the missing gap in the performance of quality assessment, saying that better job will be carried out. He advised management of the State Specialist Hospital to collaborate with the committee for better performance. Kogi State Special Advisor to Governor Yaya Bello on Culture and Tourism, Bolaji Femi, says the state government is committed to harnessing the tourism potentials in the state. Balaji made this known in Lokoja while speaking with Radio Kogi as part of activities marking the World Tourism Day. The special advisor identified tourism as a sector that deserves attention, hence the priority given to the sector by Governor Yaya Bello-led administration. According to him, before the inception of Governor Bello's administration, tourism was at its lowest ebb in Kogi State, which prompted the governor to declare a state of emergency in the sector. The restart of tourism post-COVID-19 will help kickstart recovery and growth. It is essential that the benefits this will bring are enjoyed widely and fairly by all and sundry. The human desire to travel and explore is universal, which is why tourism opened for everyone to enjoy, irrespective of class, tribe, gender, or race, and many social and economic benefits that tourism brings be available to everybody, he said. He explained that investors from various parts of the globe have signed a memorandum of understanding with Kogi State government to revamp the sector and make it a huge revenue spinner. The special advisor noted that in the next few years, Kogi State will be a standard for other states to emulate with regards to culture and tourism. Balaji noted that the theme for this year's celebration is Tourism for Inclusive Growth. Was a reminder that we are all tourists, and through tourism, every person and every aspect of our economy as a state and country could grow. The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, has appointed 2 special advisors and forwarded the names of 11 commissioner nominees to the Edo State House of Assembly for confirmation. In a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Osarodian Oge Esquire, said the 2 special advisors are Crusoe Osage, who has been appointed as Special Advisor, Media Projects, and Sarah Osanbodo Ajose Adiogun, who is Special Advisor, Strategy Policy, Projects and Performance Management. The commissioner nominees whose names have been forwarded to the Edo State House of Assembly include Oluwole Osamu Diamen Iyamu, SAN, Professor Mrs. Obe Akoya, Dr. Joan Osa Oviawi, Osaze Efan, Uzameri, and Monday Osaibovo. The Kogi State Police Command says it has swung into action to rescue the abducted lecturer with the Kogi State University, Aimba. Professor Alabi was kidnapped on Monday at about 6 p.m. by unknown gunmen when he was about entering his apartment in Aimba. Alabi is the current Dean of Faculty of Management Sciences in Kogi State University. It was gathered that the kidnappers, who were fully armed, came with a Mercedes-Benz car and whisked their victim away to an unknown destination. The source said they called the wife of Dr. Alabi and demanded for 20 million naira. The kidnappers ambushed Professor Alabi with a Mercedes-Benz car when he was about entering his residence. They wanted to take him away with his car, but due to the bad portion where they forced him to park his car, they could not. The car was stopped. That was why they forced him into their own car. The police public relations officer in Kogi State, DSP William Oviaya, confirmed the incident and said command is not leaving any stone unturned in rescuing the lecturer. The men of professional hunters, Kogi local government area, led by the award-winning security-conscious executive chairman of the council, Honorable Abdurrahim Uware, today in an early morning operation, apprehended a 5-man kidnap gang at Atame, a suburb of Osara community, upon credible intelligence report from some of the locals. The gang, who have been terrorizing Okene Lokoja Road and Okene Auchi Road of Kogi State, before being nabbed, were presently with the security agencies while investigation is ongoing to recover their sophisticated weapons. From the left, their names are Toko Sale Musa Bauchi State, Ahmadu Sale from Bauchi State, Yusuf Sale from Bauchi State, Abubakar Sale Babaru from Kano State, Isa Sale from Kano State. Honorable Ohiara said they shall leave no stone unturned in a bid to rid Kogi local government and its environs of all forms of criminality. He further appreciated His Excellency Alhaji Alabi Bello, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, for choosing security of lives and property of Kogi citizens as his top-notch priority. A suspected 34-year-old bandit doctor, Murtala Umar, and 45-year-old food supplier Yakuba Abubakar have both been arrested by the police in Kano State for supporting banditry. The spokesman of the command, superintendent of the police, Gambo Isa, said, while Umar was arrested for allegedly treating bandits who sustained injuries in the forest, Abubakar supplied the bandits with essential commodities. The suspected 34-year-old medical personnel, Murtala Umar, claimed that he studied junior community health extension work at the School of Health Technology in Kankia local government area of the state and owns a chemist at Sept Mlc village in Damusa local government area. On his involvement with the criminals, Umar said he was approached by the bandits, brandishing sophisticated weapon and warning him never to reveal their identities or risk being killed. He added that the bandits told him to also be treating their wounded colleagues or risk being abducted whenever he failed. However, he expressed regrets for his failure to report to the security agencies. For the suspected 45-year-old Yakuba Abubakar, who owns and runs a provision store at the same Sept Mlc village in Damusa local government area of Kano State, he was alleged to be a bandit's foodstuff supplier. He said he was aware of the security challenges, containment order, and pleaded to be pardoned, saying the only regret was failure to have reported to appropriate security agencies. Both men, according to Superintendent of the Police, Gambo Isa, will be charged to court at the end of the investigation. The state government has suspended the payment of salaries of 731 workers for being absent from work in the month of September, while 170 others are being investigated. Mr. Mohammed Nagaji, the State Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, stated this at the monthly news conference on implementation of the biometric attendance verification for the civil servants on Tuesday. Nagaji said that the state government saved 57.68 million naira from the suspension of salaries of the affected workers for the month. According to Nagaji, some 170 staff with salaries amounting to 19.66 million naira are being investigated, adding their salaries for the month will be paid. He also said that because they have achieved sufficient attendance but are being investigated into to know why they fall into this category. The total suspension from the payroll for September is 731 staff with over 57 million naira, while the total number of staff under investigation is 170 with over 19 million naira. The grand total for the month of September for both suspensions and investigation is 901 staff with salaries amounting to over 77 million naira. Nagaji said that workers in 10 of the 11 local government areas of the state were enrolled into the biometric system, while the remaining workers from Funakai are currently being captured. While commenting on the gains of the biometric verification, the Commissioner said that the exercise, when completed, would avail the state of the opportunity to employ new people. After the completion of the enrollment, there will be a general mop-up for both state and local governments to ensure that those who were left out during the enrollment are given final opportunity to be captured. He said because they know that this number they have, a lot of them are not real staff. So by the time they weed them out, there will be sufficient number of vacancies to be filled by capable hands. Also speaking, Mr. Bapayo Yahya, the state head of the civil service, urged workers to take the exercise seriously, adding that there was no going back on the implementation of the biometric attendance verification. Yahya, who is also the chairman of the State Committee on Integrated Payroll Payment Gateway and Human Resources Management System, responsible for the verification, advised workers to come early to work and close as when due. The total workforce in the state and local government is over 62,000. You're still watching MLC TV. We'll be right back.
Mlc TV Online is here for your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news. Choose MLC TV. Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news entrepreneur ideas and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
The forum unanimously condemns the statement by the Southern Governors Forum that the presidency must go to the South, the Northern Governor said in a meeting with the Northern Emirs. As the 2023 election draws nearer, there have been controversies over zoning of presidency after the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari. While the northern regions aims to retain power, the southern governors have resolved that power cannot return to the north in 2023. In July, the 17 southern governors across the political parties unanimously agreed that the next president must emerge from the region. They argue that there must be rational, justice, and fairness in the zoning of the presidency. The forum observed that some northern states governors had earlier expressed their views for the power shift to 3 geopolitical zones in the south with a view of promoting unity and peace on the nation. The southern governors said, "The statement is quite contradictory with the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. President shall score the majority vote score at least 25% of the votes cast in 2/3 states of the Federation. In the case of a run-up, a simple majority wins the election," the forum added. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Southern Forum, Rotimi Akeredolu, last week stated that the presidency cannot return to the north, as the governors, irrespective of their political parties, had a resolution. Rotimi said if they have anything they have agreed, they have unanimity. It is the issue of precedent in 2023. All of us, irrespective of our political party, there are 3 political parties that are in Southern Governors Forum, Mr. Akeredolu said while he featured on Channel's television program. The mass media institutions in the country have been advised to use appropriate words and languages that would prevent incidents of violent extremism rather than reporting issues that have the tendencies to escalate violence in the society. Publisher urges media institutions to shun glorifying violence extremism. Abumaka, who is the publisher and editor of the Nigerian Post newspaper Lokoja, Kogi State, gave the charge on Tuesday as a guest on Grace FM Lokoja radio program. The message, sponsored by Action Aid and BIP, said, "Publishers urge media institutions to shun glorifying violence extremism." Veterinary doctors has called on individuals to vaccinate their pets. Dr. Motupa Fed, who said this during an interview with a reporter in Lokoja, added that neglecting the importance of anti-rabies poses a dangerous threat to human lives. She said signs of rabies include inappetence, difficulty swallowing, abnormal behavior, loss of coordination, paralysis, and seizures. Faith of the Govt has more.
The World Rabies Day. Every 28th of September is set aside to mark the World Rabies Day, to emulate the importance of vaccination and prevention against rabies. Dr. Omotoba Faith, a veterinary, spoke about the significance of celebrating World Rabies Day.
Rabies has been known for centuries, and the disease is a very deadly and fatal disease which can reduce the populace at large. So that makes it a very, very important disease, and its significance and importance should be known by all human race.
Describing it as a means of sensitizing the people about the deadly disease, which is harmful to human race. She further explains that rabies does not affect just dogs, but all mammals, including humans.
Unfortunately, dogs are just victims of rabies. The actual reservoir host for rabies are bats and other wild animals. So it is when dogs come in contact with these wild animals, so they become unfortunate hosts that can affect humans.
Dr. Faith outlined symptoms to look out for in identifying dogs with rabies.
There are 2 types of symptoms that has been we've seen. We call one the aggressive form of rabies, and there's another one we call the dumb form. For the aggressive form, you see hypersalivation in dogs. They are scared of water, scared of light, and just hypersalivating. The paralytic form or the dumb form is the dog is just overdosal.
Omotoba emphasizes on the need to vaccinate pet and domestic animals annually from 4 months old to prevent them from rabies, which she says has no cure.
So how we can curb it is we should make sure that we don't have wild animals or bats around us. It's important that when you have an open wound, let's say a cut on your body, because rabies is principally found in the saliva of an infected animal, of an infected dog, since we are talking about dog in this context. So when you have an open wound, it is best for you to avoid or make sure that you don't get the saliva of your pets, especially when they are not vaccinated.
She admonished people to take their lives and their pets seriously, urging everyone with dog bites to seek proper medical attention because the symptoms of rabies could take time before manifesting depending on the person's body reactions. Rabies is a fatal virus and a public health problem. All mammals are believed to be susceptible to the disease. Usually it is transmitted from animals to animals through bites. The incubation period varies widely in domestic animals. It is usually 3 to 12 weeks but can range from several days to months, rarely exceeding 6 months. Faith Abdul-Ghaffar reporting from MLC TV.
From our foreign scene, Germany's centre-left Social Democrats, SPD, have claimed victory in the federal election, telling the party of outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel it should no longer be in power. SPD leader Olaf Scholz said he had a clear mandate to form a government, while his conservative rival Armin Laschet remains determined to fight on. The two parties have governed together for years, but Scholz says it is time for a new coalition with the Greens and Liberals. Preliminary results gave his party a narrow election win over the Conservatives, who suffered their worst ever performance. Despite this, Laschet said his party had given him its backing to enter talks with coalition partners, pushing Germany towards the potentially contracted power struggle. The Greens and pro-business Free Democratic Party (FDP) attracted the most support from the under-30s in an election dominated by climate change and by different proposals on how to tackle it. The Greens made history with almost 15% of the vote, even though it was well short of their ambitions. It was the tightest race in the years, bringing an end to the post-war domination of the two big parties, Scholz, SPD, and his rivals Conservative Christian Democratic Union (CDU). Merkel stays in place for now. Exit polls predicted a dead heat, but this election was unpredictable from the start, and the result was never going to be the end of the story. Laschet said no party has emerged from this election with a clear mandate to form a government. And in sport, in the UEFA Champions League match Day 2 played earlier this Tuesday, 28 September, Ajax of Amsterdam defeated Besiktas by 2-0, while the encounter between Shakhtar and Inter ended 0-0. At the time of filing this report, 6 matches are ongoing. PSG vs Manchester City, Leipzig vs Club Brugge, Milan vs Atletico Madrid, FC Porto vs Liverpool, Dortmund vs Sporting CP, Real Madrid vs Sheriff. N'Golo Kante is set to miss Chelsea's Champions League trip to Juventus on Wednesday and Saturday Premier League clash with Southampton. The central midfielder's participation in France Nations League clash with Belgium next month could also be in doubt. Manager Thomas Tuchel confirmed that Kante must quarantine and follow the government protocols. Tuchel said Kante was not at the training on Tuesday as Chelsea prepared for their Champions League Group H match against Juventus on Wednesday. Over to Matthias Ayodeji for entertainment news.
Kevin Hart, Ben Simmons, Sewati, and Wiz Khalifa attend Wizkid early show of Made in Lagos US tour. Nigerian superstar singer Wizkid had some huge celebrity guests at the early show of his Made in Lagos tour of North America. Wizkid performed in the early stop of the tour at the 1,850 capacity facility, The Wilton. American comedy icon Kevin Hart, rapper Wiz Khalifa, NBA star Ben Simmons, and British actor Damson Idris were all at the show. British singer Ella Mai was also at the show and joined Wizkid on stage to perform their collaboration Piece of Me off the Made in Lagos album. Wizkid is enjoying newfound success in the United States, where a record Essence became the first Nigerian record to enter the Billboard Hot 100 charts. On our foreign entertainment news, Will Smith speaks on relationship with Jada Pinkett, says marriage isn't prison. American actor Will Smith has addressed the long-standing rumors that he and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith have an open marriage. The movie star spoke about his marriage to Jada. According to Smith, their marriage started off as monogamy but later evolved. He said, Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that have had an unconventional relationship, so she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up. He also talked about how they both trusted and gave each other freedom to explore within their union because to them, marriage can't be a prison. Also from the foreign entertainment scene, R. Kelly found guilty to spend the rest of his life in prison. American singer R. Kelly has been found guilty of sexually abusing women, boys and girls for decades. The disgraced music star was convicted on all 9 counts, including racketeering and violation of the Mann Act, which prohibits the transport of any woman or girl across state lines for any immoral purpose. He will be spending the rest of his life in prison. The jury of 7 men and 5 women deliberated for about 9 hours across 2 days before reaching their unanimous verdict. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maria Cruz Melendez said the case is about a predator, not about a celebrity who likes to party a lot. One of R. Kelly's victims was R&B singer Aaliyah, who he illegally wed in a Chicago hotel room in 1994 when she was 15 years old. The prosecutors showed that for the illicit Nopita to move forward, Kelly relied on his entourage. The verdict in Brooklyn Federal Court comes just over 2 years after Kelly was arrested in Chicago for multiple federal sex crimes in 2 different states. Kelly legal team called a handful of ex-Kelly employees and associates to take the stand in an effort to discredit allegations the singer sexually abused women, girls and boys. Matthias Ayodeji Peter reporting for MLC TV.
Thanks for staying with us. For sponsorship and advert placement, call the numbers on the screen. Do like and subscribe to our social media pages. Our Facebook page is MLC TV, Instagram MLC TV 2021, YouTube Melkart TV. I am Fatima Yakub.